Hey guys, it's Heather. Welcome back to my channel. I was just wanting to do a video today because my daughter's boyfriend came over last night to meet my husband for the. So he came over and met her dad last night, and it went well. It really did go good and everything. But the reason that I actually wanted to make this video is because I was pregnant at 16. So it kind of was just like a lot when I saw, her have a boyfriend and, they're getting to that age where you can tell that they're just, they're starting to have those certain hormones where you can just tell that it's not like a little, childish friendship relationship anymore, that things are getting a little bit more serious. So I just wanted to make a video about how I became 16 and pregnant. Well, so my little story is when I was, I originally was from the city, and it was from Dayton, if anybody knows where that is. But that's where I was from originally, and I lived there from the time I was born until the time I was in the 6th grade. So I was 12 years old when I moved to Bellbrook, which was a rural area in the suburbs. And I kind of had, a whole entire lifestyle change. My life went from being, in the city with diversity and, all of my friends and, the type of style that I had, and just, my life was totally different from what I moved from to what I moved to. So, moved out there, made a few friends and everything, but then I was still hanging out a lot with my friends from my old school. So during the time that I was hanging out with my old friends, my best friend from my old school called me and she said, "Hey, do you remember that guy that we used to be friends with in the 4th grade?" And I'm like, yeah, I remember. She's like, "Well, he's here in Dayton, Ohio, and he wants to see about hanging out with you." So I was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine, whatever, So eventually, he came and we hung out and everything, and I didn't really date a lot of people because, like I said, I moved to a new school and I didn't really know many people, and it was just they weren't the same type of people that I was used to hanging out with. I came from a city, moved to the suburbs, so it was kind of like, I wore Nike, Tommy Hilfiger, gold necklaces, and they wore Abercrombie American Eagle, wore makeup and boots and stuff like that, and that was just not that was just not who I was. So anyways, so I was dating this guy for a couple of months or whatever, and at the time I was still a virgin, and a lot of my friends were sexually active at the time, so I just wanted to kind of, I hate to say I wanted to fit in. It wasn't so much a thing of fitting in as much as it was like I wanted to get it over with, which I know that sounds awful, but I really just, I wanted to get it over with. So, I did it, and then about a month later, I missed my period and went to Meijer, took a pregnancy test in the bathroom there, and it came out positive. So I was really freaking out because, I didn't really know this guy. You know, I didn't really know where he was staying, where he lived, like where he came from. Like, it was just, like, I had a self-destruction button at that time, I believe. So I went back to my sister's apartment, told her, she was like, "Oh my gosh, how this happened." She felt terrible because she's my older sister. She felt responsible for me when I was there. So, so I called my mom and dad, and I asked if I could stay at my sister's house because at the time I had stopped going to Bellbrook right before I entered my junior year because I hated it so much. I literally cried all summer, and I was like, "Please don't make me go back to that school." So I ended up doing online school. So I was already enrolled in online school and everything. I called my parents, asked if I could spend the night, and they said, yeah, you can, stay the night or whatever. My mom had a super high spidey sense. She honestly could tell when something was wrong the moment something was wrong. So, she already knew something was not right, but she went ahead and let me spend the night with my sister at her apartment. And so she's like, you just need to get home the next day, whatever. So I got home, and on the way home, she calls and she's like, hey, I really want to know what's going on because I know something is not right. So I just blurted it out. I was like, I said it in the weirdest way ever. Like, I don't know if I was just scared or what it was, but I was like, Mom, that thing that you said I shouldn't do, that I should wait, I was like, well, I had sex and I'm pregnant. And she just went quiet. So, later that night, my dad came home. And we told my dad. He's really pissed. Punched a hole in the wall twice. Once in the hall, once in my sister's old bedroom. And he didn't really talk to me for a good couple months. Just like in passing, he would talk to me. But me and my dad are really close, and he really didn't talk to me a lot. So he came around after about 4 months of me being pregnant. And, I guess we all just started to embrace the fact that, there was going to be a baby come into this world, and there wasn't really much that we could do to stop it from happening. So I ended up giving birth to my daughter on December 16th of 2004. She was 7 pounds, 13 ounces. And it was very painful. My epidural wore off. And so that was awful. I was just so young, and I was just so glad for that to be over with. But the dad moved to another state when she was about 6 months old, and it's just been kind of rocky relationship. With him being so far away, and it's just it just hasn't been what it's needed to be. So I'm glad she has my husband. I'm glad she has my dad. Unfortunately, my mom passed away back in September, which has been really, really hard on everybody because we were all really close with my mom. My daughter was really close with my mom, considering that, we lived there with her until she was 2. I did move out when I was 18. I had my own apartment with me and her. And, I think with her boyfriend coming over last night, like, it was just like, I could see, like, just the domino effect, and I could just see how this kind of thing happens. You're 15, you're in a relationship, things start happening, and before you know it, somebody's pregnant. So I always try to be very open with my daughter. I try to make the awkward conversations, I try to start them first. I try to get the awkwardness out of the way, because I would rather be straight up with her and tell her how things are and what you need to do to protect yourself, because I don't want her to be scared to come to me and talk to me on anything. I don't want her to feel embarrassed or ashamed or anything like that. So I always try to get the awkwardness out of the way so she doesn't have to feel that when she comes to me. And I've always told her, I'm like, you have to protect yourself, and the guy has to protect himself. I don't care what he tells you. You always make sure that you're protected and you can't get pregnant. I said, and same with guys. You can't take a girl's word for it. You can't just assume because she says she's on birth control, she really is. I mean, there's some really crazy people out there that want to get people pregnant. Or just out of pure stupidity or selfishness or whatever the case is. So I told her, I said, it only takes one time, not only just to get pregnant, but to get a disease that can ruin your body for the rest of your life. And I never want to see my child go through that. So, I always try to be open with her about all that kind of stuff. And being 16, pregnant, kid, teenager was extremely hard. Obviously, my life is okay now, but I mean, it was a very, very rough start for everything. I couldn't finish college like I wanted to, having to find childcare and stuff like that. It was just like the list went on and on and on of things that a normal 17 and 18-year-old should not have to be worrying about. So, you know, I always try to be open with her, and I will have a conversation with the two of them together, and I will explain to them how I feel about things, and I will let them know about, you know, having sex, and I will let them know about being protected, because I don't care. I don't want my daughter to get pregnant at 16. So if I have to sit down and embarrass the shit out of them, I'm going to do that, because I don't care. I really don't. It doesn't embarrass me any. I'm married. I have 4 kids. I have nothing to be embarrassed about. So if you don't want to be, if you get embarrassed, then, I mean, oh well, I don't care. I just don't want my daughter to be pregnant. And you can't shelter your kids forever and, you know, just not think they're going to get pregnant or not think they're going to have sex, or they're going to do anything but sit in their room and watch Netflix. That's not going to happen. So the reason I made this video is I just wanted to share my 16 and pregnant story, on how I got pregnant and how it, you know, transpired, and how it is now with having a 15-year-old. I just really, you know, want to get the message across that, you know, this is things that really happen, and it's hard, but, you know, I just want people out there to know that, you know, if you are pregnant and you are 16 years old or 17 or 18 or even 19, that's a very young age to have a baby, but, you know, you can do it, and you can take care of your child, and you can be a great, wonderful, successful mother. It is hard, but you just have to understand that everything you're doing is for the best of your child. But I just want to give you guys a little story, let you get to know me a little bit better. If you could just subscribe to my channel, hit the notification. I'm just going to be uploading videos probably 2 to 3 times a week, just, you know, whenever something's going on, or I just have a story to tell or anything like that. So if you guys could just hit the like button below, and I will see you next time. Bye.